What if I told you that the most tolerant, progressive empire in ancient history was created by a nomadic tribe that the Greeks called barbarians? What if the empire that gave us human rights, postal systems, and religious freedom was the same one Hollywood always casts as the villain? Questers, prepare to have everything you think you know about ancient Persia shattered. This is Crown Quest, and today we're embarking on the most mind-blowing journey through the empire that ruled half the known world for over 1,000 years. Let's begin. Our quest begins around 1000 BCE, in the harsh mountains and valleys of what's now Iran. Here, scattered tribes of horse-riding nomads called themselves Parsa, the Pure Ones. These weren't your typical empire builders. While Egyptians built pyramids and Babylonians raised ziggurats, the Persians were perfecting something far more valuable: survival. Every day was a strategy game against nature, teaching them adaptability, mobility, and most importantly, how to unite diverse peoples under one banner. Then, around 600 BCE, a game-changing leader emerged from the Achaemenid clan. His name was Cyrus, and he was about to flip the ancient world upside down. But first, he had to defeat his own grandfather. Picture this. Young Prince Cyrus, ruler of a small Persian kingdom, facing off against his grandfather Astyages, king of the mighty Median Empire. According to legend, Astyages had tried to kill Cyrus as a baby because of a prophecy that the child would overthrow him. Plot twist, the prophecy was true. In 550 BCE, Cyrus didn't just defeat the Medians, he did something revolutionary. Instead of enslaving them, executing their leaders, or destroying their culture, he welcomed them as equals. This wasn't mercy, this was genius. Cyrus realized that the secret to building a lasting empire wasn't conquest, it was unity. And this strategy was about to make him the most successful empire builder in human history. Within 20 years, Cyrus had conquered Lydia, liberated the Jews from Babylon, and created an empire stretching from India to Greece. But his greatest achievement wasn't military, it was the world's first charter of human rights. The Cyrus Cylinder. Here's where the Persians broke every rule of empire building. While other conquerors imposed their gods, language, and customs, the Persians did the opposite, conquered the Babylonians, keep worshipping Marduk, liberated the Jews. Here's funding to rebuild your temple, absorbed the Egyptians. Your pharaohs can keep their titles, but they didn't stop at tolerance. They revolutionized infrastructure. The Royal Road, 1,500 miles of highway with rest stations every 14 miles. Messages could travel from one end of the empire to the other in just 7 days. They created the world's first international banking system, standardized weights and measures, and established a professional civil service. The Persians basically invented modern government administration. Their satrap system, appointing local governors who understood regional cultures, was so effective that Alexander the Great copied it entirely when he conquered them. But the empire's golden age was about to reach its peak under one of history's most underrated rulers. Meet Darius the First, the man who transformed Cyrus's conquests into history's most sophisticated civilization. While Greeks were still figuring out democracy for a few thousand citizens, Darius was managing 28 different provinces across 3 continents. Under Darius, the Persians achieved engineering feats that make modern mega-projects look simple. They carved royal tombs into sheer cliff faces, built underground irrigation systems called qanats that still function today, and constructed Persepolis, a ceremonial capital so magnificent that its ruins still leave visitors speechless. By 500 BCE, the Persian Empire controlled 44% of the world's population. That's equivalent to a single nation today ruling over China, India, the United States, and Europe combined. But here's what makes this incredible. They did it while promoting arts, sciences, and philosophy from every corner of their empire. Persian courts became melting pots where Greek mathematicians debated with Indian astronomers, where Babylonian astrologers worked alongside Egyptian physicians. They even created the world's first refrigeration system using ice houses called yakhals, some of which still stand today. But every great empire faces its ultimate test. For Persia, it came from an unlikely source, the tiny fractured city-states of Greece. 490 BCE, Marathon. Darius sends a small force of 25,000 to punish Athens for supporting Greek rebels. The result? One of history's most shocking upsets. Then came the legendary trilogy, Thermopylae, where 300 Spartans held off hundreds of thousands, Salamis, where Greek ships destroyed the Persian navy, Plataea, where the mighty Persian war machine was finally broken. But here's the twist: these defeats didn't destroy Persia. The empire was so wealthy, so well organized, that losing Greece was like a modern superpower losing a small island. Annoying? Yes. Catastrophic? Not even close. The Persians adapted, rebuilt, and continued ruling their vast empire for another 150 years until a Macedonian teenager named Alexander arrived with a different kind of strategy. When Alexander conquered Persia in 331 BCE, he didn't destroy Persian culture, he embraced it. He married Persian nobles, adopted Persian court customs, and kept Persian administrators because he recognized something remarkable. The Persians had created something unprecedented, a blueprint for uniting humanity across cultural, religious, and ethnic boundaries. Their innovations echo through history. The United Nations Declaration of Human Rights mirrors Cyrus's cylinder. Our postal systems follow their Royal Road model. Our concepts of religious tolerance and cultural diversity trace back to Persian policy. Even after Alexander, Persian culture survived and thrived. The Parthians and Sassanids carried the torch for another 1,000 years, preserving and transmitting Greek philosophy, Indian mathematics, and Chinese innovations across their trade networks. Today, when we celebrate diversity, when we advocate for human rights, when we build international cooperation, we're walking paths first blazed by nomadic shepherds who became the world's greatest empire builders. And that, fellow questers, is how a small tribe of Iranian nomads created an empire so advanced, so tolerant, and so well organized that its influence shapes our world 2,500 years later. Ready for your next quest? Hit that subscribe button and join us as we unlock more hidden chapters of human civilization. Until next time, keep questing.